Shortly before Christmas last year, I was watching a couple of videos on YouTube when a proposal showed up entitled Stupid Says Run. I was intrigued by the name of the song. I liked the thumbnail as well, so I gave it a try. And shortly after, I was listening to probably the best folk rock song I've heard in many, many years. My name is Matthias Merkelbach, and I welcome you to my channel Neverland, where everything is about forgotten or at least slightly ignored records. Today's album had been published in January 2025, which is not that long ago, but it went pretty much unnoticed, at least from my perspective, which is the reason that I decided to give it another shot right here at my channel on YouTube to promote that extraordinary album myself. Stupid Says Run, title of the song, name of the album as well, is by British female singer Dorie Jackson. I've never heard of before. So I did a little research, and guess what? She is the daughter of David Jackson, legendary saxophonist for prog rock outfit Van der Graaf Generator, led by Peter Hammill all through the 70s. Later on, David Jackson was also part of that Van der Graaf's spin-off The Long Hello, and most recently, he and daughter Dorie are both members of British prog rock band Capricor's Constant, who already published 3 albums on the British Talking Elephant Records label, where Stupid Says Run has been published as well. When I heard the album for the very first time in February 2025, all 12 songs were just perfect. Did you have that kind of experience once before? You were listening to an album for the very first time and you were thinking, that has been recorded just for me. It's exactly the kind of music I love. Let's be honest, that's a very rare treat. Regularly, it doesn't happen. Even when I was listening to Mirage by Camel or Overnight Sensation by Frank Zappa and the Mothers of Invention for the very first time at the age of 15, my reaction was kind of, okay, that's it. That's the music everybody is so crazy about. A couple of weeks later, I was hooked as well. Different with Stupid Says Run. I was immediately hooked. But I figured I need to write about that album. So first thing I did was writing an article for Berlin-based literature magazine Drecksack. In English, it's something like Dirty Bag or Dirty Sack. I am writing the musical column for this magazine for the last 15 years. So I wrote an article about Dorie Jackson and Stupid Says Run as well. It was not the music on Stupid Says Run, which was the main issue or the main motivation for me to write about it. It was that limited distribution of the album. Because when I decided I really need to get that one, I figured there's hardly any opportunity in Germany to buy it. The regular online portals, they don't have it. And of course, in those very few stores that you may find where they really present physical media on vinyl and CD, they didn't have it as well. My only opportunity was to get it via Bandcamp directly from the UK. No other opportunity, which I personally thought that's a scandal. Let's say a similar album, or this particular album by Dorie Jackson, had been published in 1972, it may have caused a similar feedback in the media, like anything from Fairport Convention, Bert Jansch, Pentangle, Sandy Denny, because these were the main British folk rock artists of its time. 12 songs on this album, as mentioned before, and they really would fit nicely on a maybe single vinyl album or even a three-sided double vinyl. But it's not available on vinyl at all. It just is available on CD, but it looks pretty nice, as this digipack edition shows, the one from Talking Elephant Records. 12 songs, and each and every one pretty much rooted in classical folk rock with a little bit of prog rock extravaganza here and there, but mostly it's pretty much folk rock. Celtic folk is the basis of that. And also David Jackson is contributing here and there to the overall sound of that album, which I personally like a lot. If you're listening to some of those a little bit more tasty kind of British musicians coming from a prog rock background or folk rock background, just doing a solo album, then what you find in the description quite often is programming, whether this is drums or bass or keyboards. A lot of that kind of instruments are just coming out of the computer. Not in this case. All of the music from Stupid Says Run is played by real musicians, and it shows, or let's say it sounds differently. Very, very, very nicely conceived. Production, at least from my perspective, is kind of perfect. There is one song that definitely stands out for me besides the title track, which is so great because I personally think it's one of the greatest songs about death I ever heard, which is entitled The Visitor. The Visitor makes sure that we all get what we deserve. If your business has been dirty, you'd better hold your nerve. There are so many lines in it that definitely resonated with me from the very first time. It's extraordinary. I like that album not only because of the great musicianship, the music itself, the wonderful songwriting, the production, all of this perfect for my taste. I also like it because of the lyrics. Dorie Jackson once recorded a solo album entitled The Courting Ground in 2007, and it had been published on the Aquarian Nation label. I wasn't able to get a copy of that within the whole year of 2025, at least not for a reasonable price. It took her another 18 years to present her follow-up, which is Stupid Says Run. But I have to admit, it was worth the wait. Finally, I also would like to mention Nick Jefferson and Mike Westergaard's, two musicians on that album who are not only contributing to the success of Stupid Says Run via their instruments, but they were also helping out with the songwriting a lot. They were writing the songs on this album in collaboration with Dorie Jackson. So that was my presentation of a more contemporary album by Dorie Jackson. Hopefully you liked it. And if yes, you may also hit the subscribe button and share my thoughts and impressions about forgotten albums, neglected albums, kind of overlooked gems from rock music's history, also within the following weeks and months. Thank you very much for listening. And for today, bye-bye.